What's up, YouTube? So we're going to check out Mike Tyson's podcast. So his guest is going to be Danny Trejo. He's been acting for a really long time, and he's played in some big-time movies. Some of the movies he's played in is Heat, Blood In, Blood Out, Con Air, Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn, and Machete. I mean, some of those movies are huge movies, especially Heat, Blood In, Blood Out, an old school movie. A lot of people might know about that. But he's just done a lot of movies, and he's a really good actor. So Danny has been around the block too. He's been arrested a few times, and he's really lived a rich and a full life, if you will. So he's 74 years old. So he's definitely an old actor. He's got a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. So let's check out what he has to say.
Who's our guest today, man? We got a great guest.
Hey, man. Here, introduce him, Danny.
What's up? It's Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo, man. I'm a huge fan. Heat,
Yeah.
Con Air, fucking Machete,
Yeah,
From
Machete.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Dude, come on, man. Some of my favorite movies all
And
time.
Badass. Remember he did Badass?
Great boss.
Badass is a real person, though, right?
Yeah, actually was. But a real incident that happened, and so they made a
Get
movie
a
out of
little
it.
closer to that, man.
And then right now I'm doing, getting ready to do the same one with Craig Moss, the director, but it's going to be called Social Security, and it's kind of like Die Hard, but in a senior citizen home. You
Oh,
know?
my God, I love
People get knocked out with bedpans and shit. You know? So it's fun.
it. That's awesome, man. We've also got Danny of Standing United.
No, thank you for having me.
How are you,
Right on.
man?
Fantastic.
It's always great to have you on the pod, brother.
Thank you, brother. Good
And
stuff.
there's a connection between you two guys and Danny, your sobriety, your journey with that, and Standing United. Do you guys do any collaborations? Do you know about Standing United?
Yeah.
Their organization?
Whenever we run into each other, but we're both pretty busy. We were just at a speaking engagement about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
That was the opioid, the opioid forum.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you guys are doing great work with that. But Danny, I mean, you're an LA legend.
So one thing with the Mike Tyson podcast is I would like to see Mike engaged more with his guest. I mean, I know this time, I know they're smoking weed, and you zone out sometimes, but I like to see him be a little bit more engaged. So I think the other guy is, I don't know if the moderator or the director or whatever, but he seems to be asking more questions, is more engaged with the guest more than Mike is. So hopefully, he'll get better with that as he gets more and more podcasts. But that's just something I like to see.
Legend, man. You're from here, right?
Yeah, born and raised. I was in Los Angeles when we were riding streetcars. I remember. I actually remember streetcars. We used to when we were 9, 10 years old. We would jump on them, and then the conductor, when the next time he stopped, he would get off to chase us off. We'd jump off him.
Oh, my
And then
God.
he had to go back on, and we'd jump back on and just ride we used to go all the way from downtown L.A. to Long Beach.
Wow.
You know?
So just a little history update. So Danny is kind of telling on himself and how old he is. Like I said, he's 74 years old. But the streetcars he talked about ran around in Los Angeles. They started around the early 1900s, like 1901, 1902, and they ended around the early 60s, like 61, 62, 63. So that's kind of telling you how old he is, that he was, running around, jumping on and off the streetcars. They don't have those too much. I guess he said that they're having, they might be coming back for public transit, but that's just a little history. But some people have no clue what the transit system's like. Most people used to buses in LA, but that's just a little history tidbit.
The trolley.
Would you say, back then, was LA much better on the public transit?
Oh, it's the best. We had the best public transit in the world, and it always turned a profit every year.
Yeah.
But then when the big car companies came in
Right.
and started buying up all the tracks,
Right.
so they basically they ruined LA, really, as far as
Wow. That's some interesting stuff.
I think what we should do is like confiscate all their money and pass it out to all the people that are like walking.
Yeah.
Pedestrians.
Can't afford a car, you know.
No doubt.
But literally, that's what happened.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
that's what
The
happened.
Firestone, what do they call
Yeah,
it? Firestone just
Exactly.
came in.
And just took them all.
Yeah.
You know,
Fuck.
so- and the hilarious part is that we're building a transit system right now on the same tracks
Right.
that we had before, except for now it's like 8 million miles an inch. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh my God. It's a mess, the public transport in LA.
Yeah, if you don't know how to
Unfortunately.
maneuver in Los Angeles, because you don't drive, you know, you have to maneuver.
Yeah.
And I think the smartest thing that ever happened in Los Angeles was Waze.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No
Show you
doubt.
how to get around the traffic. Otherwise,
No doubt,
you're dead.
man. You've also got restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah,
Your
we've
taco
got,
shops.
Yeah, what's
We've
that all
got-
about?
We've got we started, in fact, it started as a joke. I was doing the movie Badass, and one of the directors, Ash, was, he saw I like good food. You know, I like to eat, but I like good, healthy food, you know what I mean? And you know, it's like, is that a free range? I felt like, is that a free range chicken? You know?
It's organic.
Organic.
You mean that chicken's never been in a cell, right? No, it's never been in a cell. So he saw that. He said, Danny, why don't you open a restaurant? So joking, me and my mom had a running joke, you know, Trejo's Tacos.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
says, Trejo's
Great.
Tacos.
Yeah.
And she never got a chance. So when Ash said that, and I said, Trejo's Tacos, we did Badass, then we did Badass 2, then we did Badass on the Bayou with Danny Glover. And he brought me a business plan.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You know, and me being the brilliant businessman that I am, I gave it to my secretary, Mary, and my agent. I says, Gloria, here, read this. You know, and they read it and said, it's a no lose proposition for you. It's the first time
No-brainer.
somebody wants to do something and they don't want $500,000 up front.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
let's do it. So the first one we opened was on La Brea.
Yeah.
And that turned into a Pink's.
Yeah.
You know, it just turned into a
Yeah.
what do you call it?
It's-
Tourist attraction.
yeah, it's a
but
staple.
the reason why is because somebody out here in Laguna Beach or somewhere, they said we're having a bike run to Trejo's Tacos.
Oh, my God. Really?
So, and then the Orange County bikers heard about it and said, hey, we're having a bike run. So who shows up? There's about 100 guys in spandex on 10 speeds from Laguna Beach and 100 guys in leather from San
Oh, so
Bernardino.
bikers are bikers.
It was bikers and bicycles.
Oh, dude.
God, it was funny. All the guys are taking pictures on Harleys and spandex.
That's awesome.
All the guys in leather are taking pictures on the 10 speeds and shit. Yeah.
Perfect.
And
So I'm really glad to hear that Danny has invested his money well into a business. You know, because a lot of actors, a lot of entertainers, a lot of athletes that get a good sum of money, you know, they blow it on stupid stuff. I'm glad to see that he has an investment. He's invested, and that's just something good. That's just a good example for the upcoming people that are getting into entertainment to work off his model, at least in that aspect.
So it just became a tourist attraction, you know,
Yeah.
and that was good. So then we opened up the
That's
one
great.
on Cahuenga, and then the one in Pasadena, the one in
There's
Woodland
one in
Hills.
Pasadena.
Yeah, right at the Pasadena Playhouse.
Oh, sweet, man.
It's worked out. Every time there's a play, we get full.
Hell yeah.
So
I believe
Ash and Jeff, the two business partners, they're just great at location.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You know, they took what's his name advice: location.
Location, yeah.
Yeah,
What
it's
was
awesome.
it? Mel Brooks. He said,
I love that, man. Mike, you ever been?
Never ever.
"Come on, Mike."
What about Trejo's Donuts?
Danny, God, I'm not allowed in there. I'm not allowed in
Is that a
there.
real place?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pink building, dude.
Right on the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard
Yeah.
and Highland.
Yeah, exactly.
And it used to be a place called Donut Time and became real famous in a movie called Tangerine.
Ah.
It was a movie that they filmed completely with a iPad or what? iPhone.
iPhone,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
God,
they can-
really?
Yeah, it can
The whole movie with an iPhone.
And
Yeah,
so,
I heard.
Wow.
so it became really a famous movie. So people come to take
Yeah.
pictures of that building. Now it's pictures of me.
Hell yeah.
So it's
Your face right there, man. That's
so it's
awesome.
like cool. And you're invited.
Thank you
That's
very
it. The
much.
whole family. You better bring them all down. We got vegan. We got vegetarian. We got gluten free. Gluten free was my idea because I work with autistic kids.
Yeah.
And doctors have said that
Gluten-free
kids,
diet.
yeah, gluten-free diet is real good for kids with autism.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So we put and now we got families with, and mama says, I don't have to cook 3 meals.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everybody can eat. You know?
For sure.
So we have a lot of families that are like regular customers. It's really good.
Well,
Another thing I like about Mr. Danny is he's very engaged. He can definitely hold a conversation and keep it going. I think that's really probably helping out Mike Tyson during this podcast because he hasn't really said much and he's kind of just sitting there, most likely zoning out because he's probably smoking that good stuff. So I don't know. It's just Danny's a very good speaker. You can see why he's made it in the business, the movie business, and has done